Hi friends, this is Calpun Piso. Yesterday, Friday, February 3rd, 2012, on Real Time with Bill Maher, this man is awesome, and he tells it like it is. But he's a comedian, so he can get away with it, telling the truth. Like in ancient times, the jesters and the court jesters are very intellectual, and they were advisors of the king. But they tell the king exactly what was going on. But since they were jokers and jesters and slaves and move all around and telling stuff, they get away with telling the truth in poems and stuff and ranking down the king himself. And he can still have the heads on their shoulders. Bill Maher is doing exactly the same. He's telling the truth. So people should actually listen to this man. He is brilliant, saying everything with humor. And here's what he said about, he had a Unbaptism Ceremony of the Mormon Christ Psychotics. It was brilliant, brilliant. Here it is.
Until someone claims to see Christopher Hitchens' face in a tree stump, idiots must stop claiming that atheism is a religion.
Exactly. It is not a religion. Religion is organized schizophrenia. Simple as that. And Bill's going to tell him. But it's a mental illness. Organized schizophrenia. Everything, you have Mormonism, is Christ psychosis of Mormonism, and then you have all different types, is nothing but organized schizophrenia. This will be pareidolia.
Religion is defined as the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, and atheism is precisely not that.
Exactly. And atheism, they should study the etymology of the word. A means without, lacking of, and theos, theism or deo, and that's where the word day comes from. Like Monday, day of the moon, Martes, or Marday is, or Wednesday and all that. All those are to the gods. So Deo, Deus is God, or imaginary friend, or tooth fairy, or Winnie the Pooh, any of those things. So it doesn't exist. So atheism simply means lack of belief in bullshit and nonsense. And Bill Maher could say that very easily.
Got it? Atheism is a religion like abstinence is a sex position.
I would say atheism is like saying baldness is a hair color. Same thing. And he's very, very correct.
And that's the best thing about being an atheist. It requires so little of your time.
And I will add, this is what Bill Maher doesn't say, and a lot of mentally healthy atheists don't say. The word atheism should never be said alone without adding or putting in front of it mentally healthy, also known as atheist. Always say that so they sink into the Christ psychotic and people that suffer from the mental illness of God belief into their sick brains. Because you have to repeat something 100 times so they sink into the brains of these theotarded individuals. Religion is organized as schizophrenic, as that simple. The neurological beliefs found in the schizophrenics, found in temporal epileptics, found in cognitive dissonance, and also in this new conversion syndrome, which I want to talk about, are a form of a neurological disorder that are found in all religions. All these beliefs are created in the brain. If you accept those beliefs as reality, you have a problem with the brain. Then you have a brain malfunction. Because a sane brain knows the difference between fantasy and reality. Only the uneducated, ignorant, and children have an excuse to believe in these fairy tales to be true. And this is exactly, we are in the 21st century.
For a couple of weeks, more than a dozen teenagers who go to the same high school in upstate New York have developed strange tics that resemble Tourette syndrome. verbal outbursts, twitching, flailing. All but one of the teens are girls. Health chemical spill happened. She's been diagnosed with conversion disorder, and she worried
how this thing might have spread. Now,
Mystery?
conversion disorder can sometimes have medical issues that are contributing to it, precipitating it, making it more likely to occur. So the fact that it's being called conversion doesn't completely rule out the environmental influences. So those are continuing to be...
It's kind of interesting about conversion. I didn't realize about conversion. I went to, what is this conversion thing? It happens sometimes. It's like, conversion, yeah, I don't believe it. Conversion, no way.
Original diagnosis of conversion gives the doctors treating in that vicinity something to work on, and they apparently, or most of them, are getting better.
So, conversion disorder, it's also happened to the Psychotics. Yeah, conversion. It's probably chemical. Just, you know, it's like something like, I don't believe it. I don't think it's real. Conversion disorder takes conversion? Boy, they're going to be converted to what? Another religious psychosis? Conversion? I don't think this is very true. I have to check on that. Conversion? Oh, God, my ass, it doesn't exist. It's all in the brain, correct? I wonder if they're faking it. Conversion.
But it's certainly not unheard of. And conversion itself, a single person developing physical manifestations because of a psychological or psychiatric state, is not at all uncommon. We've got to remember, brain body or blows a fuse, let's say, when stress is excessive, it comes out through physical symptoms, and tics and seizuring and blindness or paralysis.
Also believing in imaginary friends, God.
Manifestations of this thing we call conversion.
Christianity.
Conversion, like it happened in Salem's. It's actually ergot. You know, like LSD, probably says purpurea, but conversion, it's a good name. They never call religious people the crazy people they are. They have a problem with the brain. Conversion, I don't believe that conversion thing. I wonder if it's true. I wonder if they're faking it. They're probably thinking that the spirit is going to possessing them. Could that be true? And they can speak in tongues too, and conversion? Oh yes, conversion, of course. Conversion to Christianity or Christ psychosis? Yeah. This is what I love about this so-called psychiatrist and Dr. Pinsky. These guys have a medical degree in psychiatry, neurology, and all that stuff. They are blind. Blind. They never realize that you are born out of a fog, not a stork. The brain is the one that creates all the bizarre mathematical beliefs of imaginary friends and God, which are found in all religions and also in schizophrenia. They don't connect the dots, these idiots. The so-called psychiatrists, and they don't connect the dots. You know, they never mention Christianity, believing in imaginary zombie that saves with blood as a disorder. But they see the conversion, they see temporal lobe epilepsy, they have other imaginary friends. They see catatonic schizophrenia. They see all this disorders of the brain of God. They see gods and all that one, but they never link them. This is what these morons, the so-called doctors, don't see. And that all these problems are happening in the world with these morons corrupting the mind of children in churches and stuck in the Middle Ages reading only one book of garbage. Like the Vatican, all these people, religious people, are psychotic. They're schizophrenic morons and imbeciles, stagnating the mind of mankind, and a stupid schizophrenic idiots. They don't realize that the brain is creating all these bizarre mathematical beliefs, and they don't see it. They see conversion, and they see temporal lobe epilepsy, they see the depression, bipolar, and all that. Never mention Christianity and Christ psychosis. And I'm going to stick it to them, these imbeciles. They have no idea. They don't have no idea that the brain is creating religious beliefs and schizophrenia are one and the same. They should realize that.
To be called out, and that is to label any evidence-based belief a religion.
And see, if Bill Maher would say, if he just only say, religion is organized as schizophrenia, then of course, it will be opening the brain to everyone, because everybody said, "Oh man, it's like the child, the kid that said, 'Hey mom, the emperor wears no clothes. And they went, oh yeah, he's naked. Because, you know, in those days, the history, the little fable of the emperor wears no clothes, it was that in the kingdom, there was a con artist that were actually telling this emperor that had all kind of things, he bought all kind of stuff, and gifts and all kind of stuff. It was very powerful. And they said, hey, we have something that you don't have. We have this fabric that only the mentally healthy, the good person, the moral person, and the intellectuals and all that could see. People that are liars, they are no good, they cannot see this fabric. So they came around to show this fabric that was like, it was nothing there. It just, and everybody, oh yes, we can see it, it's beautiful. And then the emperor says, can you, I want a suit made out of this fabric. And this con artist came back with this, pretending to hold some fabric there and trying to make the measurements to the emperor and all that. And he said, oh, it's beautiful, the colors are beautiful. There was nothing there. And then right in the factory, the emperor sent some of his advisors to look to see how the tailors saw how this was the suit was coming along. And then they pretend that we're cutting the stuff and all the invisible fabric, and they say, "Oh, it's beautiful, it's coming great." There comes the day that he was going to wear that fabric, and they pretend they would put it on all that and for this ceremony, and they say, "Oh, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous." And then he went into the procession, and naturally he was totally naked. But nobody could say that. Everybody said, "Oh," they all pretend they could see it because they didn't want to be called liars and moronic and stupid and retarded, So they just took a kid, an innocent kid that said, "Hey, Mom, the emperor wears no clothes." And how many other Americans know this fable, what it means? Yeah, not that many, because they are like this. They are Christ-psychotic infected. Religion is a mental disorder. It's the acceptance of imaginary friend, like resurrecting zombies and flying prophets, to be reality. And that is a psychosis not different than schizophrenia. And there I should say that. And Bill is great. This man is very intelligent. Amazing. He tells it like it is.
If you still insist atheism is a religion, then it's only fair that we get to do all the loony stuff that you get to do. To start tonight by unbaptizing Mitt Romney's dead father-in-law. In case you didn't hear, it was discovered last week that Edward Davies, Ann Romney's father, an enthusiastically anti-religious scientist who called organized faith hogwash.
And it's very interesting he says that, because in 1943, Devereaux, a scientist, defined religious beliefs as organized schizophrenia. Hit it around the nail. Perfect. And that was way before it was confirmed by Crick in 1953 that the helix DNA was discovered, confirming Darwin's observations of adaptation and evolutionary biology. And it was right there. But the Christ-psychotics, people that believe in God, and all these beliefs originate in the brain, they are bizarre mathematical beliefs, when accepted as true, are a form of schizophrenia. So he was correct. And hogwash, he is correct.
Baptized in the Mormon tradition 14 months after he died. They tried to do it sooner, but he wouldn't stop spinning in his grave. Then is history's first unbaptism ceremony right now. For the late Edward Davies. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in the presence of math, gravity, evolution, and electricity to honor Brother Edward and to send the powers of SEAL Team 666 to rescue him from planet Clolob so that he may spend eternity with the kind of freethinkers he chose to hang out with on Earth. By the power granted to me by the Blair Witch, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, E pluribus mumbo jumbo, Patronum, Susustudio, Yo Mama. I call upon the Mormon spirits to leave your body the fuck alone. Brother Edward, in this world you had to put up with Mitt Romney. You've suffered enough.
And see, Bill Maher is very, very correct. The man is absolutely brilliant. But I like what he says here. Head up their ass, exactly. Religious people are talking shit because the brain is filled with neurological excreta. You know, is actually waste material. And shit is nothing but waste material. When you take food, you take all the good stuff out of it, and then the rest is expelled. It's a waste. And what happened is that when you have religious beliefs, you take all the truth of between fantasy and reality. You understand all this is facts based on science using the brain. When you keep all the fantasies inside your brain, and that's the only thing you talk about, like children do when they believe in the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus and all that, which is okay because they're adults, but they start growing up, and if they become retarded or neurologically deficient and something's wrong with the brain, then they start accepting those fantasies as reality, which are all religions are composed of bizarre mythological beliefs as those of children. So you can really properly say that religious people are full of shit, and they have their heads stuck up their asses, because that's where the waste material comes out. So they don't, in other words, what happens with religious people is that they don't, it's like people don't take a shit. And the shit, the excreta, the waste material of their thinking goes up to their heads, and that's why they come up with all this bullshit. So it is true. Religious is actually bullshit. And Bill Maher is correct in saying that. Religious people of faith are people of schizophrenia and dangerous and psychopaths and sadomasochistic. As a matter of fact, that's the reason you see zombie Jesus, blood saves, and they torture animals and the rest of the stuff, because God created all the animals for all the people on the planet. So you can do anything you want with animals. You can torture them, you can kill them. The only way you can go in salvation is by whipping yourself silly and accepting your Lord and Savior that resurrected and was tortured with blood, because his blood is sacred and saves as reality. And that is the psychosis in this 21st century. Making my point, schizophrenia.
Well, I just get upset at the disease. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. But I hate illness, especially the cancer of the brain, which is God belief psychosis. Here, this is a little science for you guys, for people of faith psychosis. People have a problem with the brain. They understand, they're clueless of science. This is the way you were created. An embryo, after there's a formation, lead to the formation of your brain. I am very, very sorry. People of faith are such a awful genetic defect, which is God belief psychosis, especially zombie God syndrome. Here, these are the facts. Take you back to the past where you were created, just like this, after the fuck.
Another set of toolkit master regulatory genes that are involved in controlling the formation of hind limbs or forelimbs.
This is science, folks.
So these slides show a series of chick embryos that have been stained with a blue dye. This is a method that allows you to look at where an individual gene is being expressed. So you see sites blue at the sites where the gene is normally on. There's a gene called TBX5 that's expressed in the blood of a chick, but not the leg.
Our DNA proves we are evolved mutated primates. Here, the cave of creation. And in ancient times in Egypt, they didn't have no idea about this biological system. So, of course, everything was personified. Venus, the mother goddess, the star Venus, was represented as evolved in the sky. Like the Virgin Mary and Artemis and Isis and all that, mother and child and all this. Here is, the milk. The breast milk was considered just the same like semen. And it created life, and it gave life to people. They had no idea. So this is from HBO's series Rome, where the body of the Christus, Julius Caesar, was trying to be resurrected. Julius Caesar is nothing, was a Christus. And Jesus Christ is simply a title. of head priest and anointed savior, an expected one. The Catholic Church, and when created by Constantinus in 325 CE, making the cult of Julius Caesar of the city of Rome the only accepted one, imitated all these distortions of the worship of the title of Julius Caesar. There was a title of Jesus Christ, and that's where Jesus Christ come from. It's not a person. That's why nobody can find Jesus Christ in history at all. But the obvious fact, proven in ruins and all that, is that Julius Caesar and Octavius and all that, they were all Christuses. They were all leaders and Christuses. Worship with temples, and they mutated with different gods, adopted many, many names. Everything is, all these beliefs are created in the brain. So don't bother to put any garbage on my videos unless we deal with this fact. We are evolved mutated primates that create God and all the bizarre beliefs with our brains when the brain malfunction. So the bizarre metamagical beliefs in schizophrenia and mental disorders are no different than those found in all religions. Deal with this truth.
There you go. Dolphins are stranding.
So we're definitely still.
This sonar, the idiot don't understand.
Part of the job now is
all this sonar is screwing up all these mammals. They navigate with sonar.
9 of these animals so far that have not made it, and so now the the scientific
what's going on? We're screwing out the whole planet.
Process begins.
I do that personally for myself, to just give the Lord the credit and humble myself.
Cry psychotic
Before big situations, and then also, just to be a good example. And to be
So this kind of schizophrenic talk, these people are completely lunatics and deluded, and they're allowed, they seem to be saying, no, they're cry-psychotic, infected imbeciles, and they're very dangerous. The example of this moron is just like any schizophrenic that knows how to play football or become a doctor or anything like that. So this is the problem in this country. Psychosis, a disorder that nobody sees. And I love to nail psychotics, these people under this cancer of the brain that nobody sees, to the cross of reality. I smash them with facts. So remember that. The only thing you can do is try to be aware of this disorder. These people are psychopaths, and they're very, very dangerous because they're time bombs waiting for a place to happen. They are lunacy and psychopathy, and this is the problem today. So, hey, we create all that with the brain. And if you have a healthy brain, you're an atheist. And these dolphins wouldn't die, and we would have been in the moon and all these planets 1,000 years ago, because believing God stagnates the intellect. Pache de oro.